G'day and welcome to the different house. The different house, yes. It's spring, it's a pretty grotty day actually. It's about to start raining soon. Look at the sky. Look at that sky, it's grey. Anyway, I wanted to make this video. I said I was going to make one more video about the CAA situation, and this could be a really good positive video. I'm spitting already. Because this morning, was it last night, a YouTuber called Parler sent a tweet with a message from Dean Winter. Now, he'd complained, I think, to Dean Winter saying, why aren't you following up these complaints? And Dean Winter has changed the game a little again. The game has changed a lot. First of all, when I spoke to investigator Doug, he said it's about compliance. You know, any non-compliant drone or model flight represents a risk or a threat or a danger to aviation. And I said that's bullshit, Doug. But that was the corporate line. That was the line from CAA. Then it changed a bit. Well, actually, no. For a start, let me say there was also the data dump in which they picked up one of the complaints. They said, this is a very low risk flight, but we're going to refer it for enforcement. So that was further evidence to support the belief that it's all about compliance. At that stage, they were saying compliance is the key issue. You've got to be compliant. Now, there were two pieces of evidence to support that. And as I say, I said that's bullshit. That's rubbish. It should all be about the risk. But that's what happened. And then we got something rather strange going on because we had all those complaints and they were not actioned. Insufficient evidence. And we know that they were all zero risk flights. So it looked as if they were taking risk into account, but there was no statement from CAA. This insufficient evidence, it was just rubbish. It was a lie. It was a dishonest representation of the issues. So then this YouTuber Parler contacted Dean Winter, and we got a reply back. Now we got a third factor. There's a third factor that determines whether something should be prosecuted or should be investigated, and that seems to be the public interest. The public interest, that seems to be another issue. So what is it? Well, if I am to believe what Dean Winter has said, it looks like that I get the impression that CAA has finally wised up and realised, well, this is a whole lot of storm in a teacup. It's a whole lot of nothing. CAA recognise, I'm pretty sure, that my flights, well, they've said it in their own documentation, low risk. I don't take risks. I don't endanger people. I don't endanger property. You look at my videos, I'm not flying near people. I'm not flying in places where there are likely to be aircraft without the necessary precautions. I dot my I's, I cross my T's. I've got 60 years of experience, knowledge and understanding of this hobby. I do what I do with a view to safety. And more than that, I actually preach the safety gospel. I show people through practical examples how to fly safely. And that's very important because CAA has proven over this whole meme thing, they have a total disconnect with a huge chunk of the drone flying community. Memes are the modern day equivalent of a political cartoon to younger people flying drones. And CAA missed that ball completely, or they chose to miss that. So we've proven those things. Now, here's what's going to happen from where I stand. I think what Dean Winter has basically said, if it's not in the public interest and it's low risk, then we're not going to pursue any complaints. That's fine. He said that. He's on record as saying that. And I'm going to hold him to that because now I'm going to go and do what I do. I go and fly safely. That's what I'm going to do. It's almost summer here, and I just spent the morning watching a video from Mario Asishim. Now, he has been flying the way I like to fly, flying a quad, not long distance, but no further than you'd like to have to walk to retrieve it if you made a mistake. And he flies safely. He doesn't fly over people. He doesn't fly in areas where he's likely to cause a risk to anybody or any property. And that's what I do. And he's done that all of the northern summer. I've watched his videos all the northern summer, really enjoyed them because when you're stuck here in the cold and the wet and the dismal, winter, it's nice to have that FPV window on warmer climates. And that's what I'm going to do this summer. I'm going to get everybody in the northern hemisphere the same benefit. I'm going to fly my quads and my planes in a way that I can showcase summer here to you guys. Now, due to COVID, you can't travel here and enjoy New Zealand scenery firsthand, so you're going to do it secondhand through my FPV cameras. And I will use civil aviation regulations as a guide to safety. They're not going to be a crutch. I'm not going to rely on them. Of course, I'm going to do much more. I've got my ADS-B alarm. I've got my knowledge, my experience, my history of safe flying. I'm going to use all that to make sure I fly safely. And each flight will be a lesson to others who also want to fly safely. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll show you the mitigation I'm taking, how I've analysed the risks and why I think it's safe to fly. So I'm going to be educating. It's going to be, to use the words of CAA, an educative process. All my flights will involve a certain degree of education, and I will be reaching the audience that CAA has no connection with, the people who understand that memes are political cartoons of the 21st century. So I am going to be doing a public service. So this will be in the public interest. And that's the factor that CAA has now said is the determining factor when they come to prosecution. So I'm going to be working in the public interest. So if they're going to prosecute me for technical infringements or allegations of technical infringements, they're not going to be working in the public interest. They're going to be operating in direct contravention to what Dean Winter has told the world is most important. I don't think they'll do that. I think Dean, honestly, he must be an honest guy at heart. I'm sure he's looked at this and said, time to bury the hatchet a bit. I mean, this guy isn't out there, bringing down aircraft. He's not out there threatening people. He's just trying to do what he can for the hobby in the way he can best do that. So I'm hoping that that's what Dean is trying to say through his little tweet or through his message that was tweeted on Twitter. So if that's the case, we're all good. We're all good. I will carry on doing what I do, educating, informing and entertaining. CAA will carry on doing what they're supposed to be doing, keeping the country safe, the aviation airspace safe, and we'll all get on like a house on fire. Now, the only person disadvantaged by this is poor old Karen, who's going to be pulling her hair out and screaming from the highest rooftop, I don't care about Karen. Karen will continue to file complaints. What I'm relying on is that CAA will look at those complaints and say, Mr. Simpson is working in the public interest. He's working in the interests of aviation safety. Therefore, these complaints, we've looked at it. We've ascertained that if we were to investigate this, it would not be in the public interest and that this does not represent a risk. Therefore, we've set the precedent and these will go in that little file, that round file in the corner there. We've done our job. We've evaluated the complaint and dismissed it. That's what they need to do. They don't need to even contact me about this because I've got better things to do. You've got better things to do than to listen to me whine about CAA. So there we go. We're moving forward in a positive way. Now, Parkinson's has taken an increasing toll on my ability to fly. This summer may be I'm pretty sure it's going to be the last summer. You don't see many videos of me flying anymore because a lot of the time I'm just not up to it. And part of the safety assessments, part of the risk assessment is, am I feeling well enough to make sure I can fly to a suitable standard? And if I don't feel that well, I don't fly. That's simple. And that'll be part of my risk assessment moving forward. But I'm going to make the most of the time I've got. I'm going to really enjoy this summer and hopefully share that fun with you. And I'll be doing, Mario has this thing, Ride and Fly, I think he calls this series, and so I've really enjoyed those. So I'm going to do Hike and Crash, which is probably what I'll be doing. I need the exercise. My main way of dealing with Parkinson's, and I've been reasonably successful in slowing the progression of the symptoms, is exercise. I get as much exercise as I can, and when I can't get exercise, I really feel bad, and the Parkinson's symptoms really, really start to affect me. The more exercise I get, the better. So I'll be doing a lot of hiking, a lot of crashing over this summer. Hope you'll join me for that. So all the people that have been grizzling and bitching and moaning about the CAA videos, well, hopefully now it's all in the past. Hopefully we have some kind of understanding, probably not written, but hopefully it'll be understood. And as long as CAA leave me to get on with my job, which is in the public interest to educate, inform and show people how to fly safely, as long as they leave me to get on with that, you won't hear anything more from me about CAA. But that is entirely in CAA. The ball is in CAA's court. I cannot control what CAA do. I may be totally misinterpreting this. If I am, well, we'll soon find out. We'll soon know. But if common sense has prevailed, and if Dean Winter is true to his claims that it's all about risk and about the public interest, then I think with those two things in mind, I'm not going to have any problems from CAA over the summer. So let's look forward to that. Let's get on. Let's enjoy. I'm doing the Outlaw 250, the final bit of the build video, that today, so that should be up in the next day or so, because I've just spent too long. It's not very good. It's a crap video, but hey, you've got to have something. And the ADSB alarm, I'm just one recompile of that, and hopefully it will be all go. Put it up next week, and then we'll get on with the summer of fun and enjoyment in the Southern Hemisphere. There you go, guys. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. You make it all possible. Thanks to all the people that have been supporting me and the hobby in recent times. We need more support. The hobby needs plenty of support. I've had 60 years of fun from this hobby. I want to make sure that future generations can have 60 years of fun. And if we don't do something about it, they're not going to have it. So there you go. And now I'm going to go inside because it's starting to rain. And I've said what I needed to say. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.